All right, let's dive in. This time we're headed to the Jura Mountains of France.
Ooh, the Jura.
Yeah. And this deep dive all started with a travel newsletter. It's called Love to Visit France.
Nice.
Yeah. And honestly, it's got me thinking mountain air, Comté cheese,
Sounds good.
maybe even a little watchmaking. We always think about Paris or the Riviera when we think of France,
Right.
but there's so much more to explore, right?
Oh, absolutely. And the Jura region is like the perfect example of that.
Okay, so get this. The newsletter paints this picture. You arrive at the Besançon station and boom,
Yeah.
giant master clock just like welcoming you. Talk about setting the scene for a region that loves precision, huh?
It's more than just a love, it's part of their history. Like, watchmaking, it takes such incredible attention to detail, mastering these tiny mechanisms. And that same dedication to craftsmanship, you see it everywhere in the Jura.
And that makes me think about this other thing the newsletter mentioned. Hot Mont d'Or cheese, accompanied by cold cuts and potatoes. Okay, I don't know about you, but sign me up.
Right. It's the Jura celebrating those simple, high-quality ingredients, but there's more to it. You think about making Comté cheese, all the aging and care.
Yeah.
It's like that same precision and patience that you see in watchmaking. It's so interesting how these two crafts, seemingly so different, share that connection.
Wow, I never thought of it like that. It's like that drive for excellence is just built into the region.
Yeah,
Okay, so we've got cheese, we've got watches, but let's not forget the wine.
of course. The wine.
The newsletter mentions the 2024 grape harvest in the south of France, and it's facing some challenges because of the climate, right? Makes you wonder, are the vineyards in the Jura having similar issues?
That's a great question. The Jura's climate is unique, and it definitely impacts the character of their wines. Just picture those rolling hills, vineyards clinging to the slopes. Beautiful, but also demanding.
It's funny how this newsletter jumps around, right? One minute we're in the Jura, the next we're reading about a golden wedding anniversary in Nice with all the bright colors and artistic vibes. Makes you wonder about the Jura's potential for, like, inspiring artists, too.
The Jura has a different kind of beauty, not that coastal vibrancy, but something more subtle. Earthy tones, misty forests, those dramatic limestone cliffs. There's
Yeah.
a wildness to it. It's really captivating.
This is so funny because the newsletter also mentions raclette à volonté, which I guess is basically Parisian for all-you-can-eat raclette. But doesn't it just feel more fitting in the Jura, though?
Absolutely.
Picture this. You're in a cozy chalet, snow outside,
Mm.
just mountains of melted cheese.
Yeah, perfect winter in the Jura. And it speaks to that sense of warmth and hospitality they have, gathering together, enjoying the simple things. A world away from those Parisian articles in the newsletter, traffic restrictions and city life.
It really highlights the contrast, huh? The city versus the tranquility of the Jura. And speaking of tranquility, the newsletter ends with a section called Extra, where they talk about the Jura being this wild land with a rich heritage. Makes me want to just drop everything and go explore.
It's a place where you can really disconnect, escape the modern world, hike through those ancient forests, discover hidden waterfalls, experience a slower, more deliberate pace of life.
So we're starting to get this picture, the Jura Mountains,
Ooh.
where nature and craftsmanship collide. But there's obviously so much more to uncover.
It's interesting. The Jura really challenges how we see France. We think of the cities, the landmarks.
Right.
But the Jura, it's like a whole different experience. It makes you wonder, how does that mix of like precision and wildness, how does that shape the people and the culture there?
Ooh, I like that. You got the watchmaker focused on every tiny detail.
Yeah.
And then, that rugged landscape where they're making Comté, almost like a force of nature itself.
And the winemakers too,
Yeah.
working with those elements, getting something so unique from the land.
Okay, imagine this. You're hiking in the Jura Mountains, surrounded by forests, valleys.
Yeah.
You come across this traditional cheesemaker's chalet tucked away in the hills,
Ooh, I love it.
and you're welcomed inside, warm smile. They give you a taste of that perfectly aged Comté.
Nice.
You can smell the fire, that wood smoke, and the air is just filled with herbs in that mountain air.
That's the dream.
Right. And maybe they offer you some local wine, a vin jaune maybe, while they tell you stories about the region, the traditions,
Oh, I love the...
stories that have been passed down, just like the cheese making.
It's a whole experience. More than just the taste. It's the texture of the cheese, the sound of cowbells,
Yeah.
the view of the sun setting over the mountains.
It's like the perfect escape from, the daily grind. to slow down, breathe that fresh air, and get back to what matters.
And maybe even learn a bit about watchmaking while you're there.
Right.
I'd love to see those mechanisms being made, that level of precision.
It reminds us that craftsmanship is alive and well in the Jura, that beauty can be found in the smallest detail and the grandest landscape.
It's that duality. That's what makes the Jura so fascinating. Peace and inspiration all in one place, where tradition meets innovation.
This deep dive, it's really opened my eyes to a different side of France. What do you think, listener? Ready for a Jura adventure?
It's a side of France you might not expect. That's what makes it so exciting. A place that invites you to slow down, explore, and find something truly unique.
As we've been talking, I keep thinking about that word, extra, that wild land, the heritage.
Yeah.
Feels like a whole world to discover there.
It is, and that's what makes it so, I don't know, magnetic. It's not just a visit, it's an experience. The cheese, it's like you can taste the history. The mountains, that ancient energy. And the artisans, you can just see their passion.
Almost like a hidden gem, a secret only shared among those in the know. I kind of get the feeling it wants to stay that way, a bit untouched, a bit wild.
Yeah, that rawness, that's definitely part of the appeal. Reminds you that there are still places where you can escape, really connect with nature, find that sense of wonder again.
And that's what I'm hoping you, dear listener, take away from this deep dive. Whether you're, a seasoned traveler or just starting to dream, the Jura Mountains, they offer something special. Beauty, tradition, a little something extra that's hard to resist. It's a place that just calls to you. Slow down, savor the moment, discover a different side of France, maybe even a different side of yourself.
So keep exploring, keep looking for those hidden gems. And who knows, maybe your next journey will lead you to the heart of the Jura. Until then, bon voyage.
And that's a wrap on this deep dive. We'll see you next time.